It's been a long time since I've posted a video. So, let's get into an explanation as to why, and also I'm gonna probably kind of piecemeal this video together with things that I recorded that I don't really have a complete video yet. So yeah. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Claire. I own a small crochet business here in mid-Michigan called the Hip Stitch Studio. And, I have been just having a rough go of it for like this whole year. So for those of you who have watched my previous videos, especially the ones over the summer, you know that I had surgery. And I really thought that that surgery back in June was going to be kind of a one and done and I'd be good to go. Boy, was I wrong. So back in February, I started having a lot of pain in my back and I couldn't figure out why. But I know a little bit about basic anatomy, nothing crazy, but I'm like, I think this is my kidney. Like, I don't think I have a UTI, but I, for some reason, think I have a kidney infection. So I went to urgent care. They said, yeah, you have a kidney infection. Here's some antibiotics, and sent me on my way. Okay, cool. Took the antibiotics. It helped for like a week, and then the pain came back. So then I took another round of antibiotics, and it helped for like a week. And then the pain came back, but it was intermittent. I thought maybe it's just that my kidney got a little irritated and it just needs some time. My husband and I went on vacation in May, and on our flight back from vacation, we decided that my pain was so bad that we needed to just take me to the ER. So we went to the ER and they did a CT scan, and they realized that my left kidney was basically completely blocked and filling up with fluid. And the clinical term for this is hydronephrosis, which literally just means water kidney. There are 4 stages of this. There's like mild, then there's moderate, and then there's acute, and then there's severe. Mine was listed as grade 4, severe. They wanted to keep me there and do like emergent surgery the next day. And I was cool with that. I'm like, that's fine. Get this thing taken care of. I would like it done now. The PA for the urologist that was on call asked me a bunch of questions after I had just woken up. And so I have no idea what she asked me, but whatever my answers to that were, delayed my surgery. So instead of getting emergent surgery, which, by the way, would have been covered under EMTALA, instead they decided that they were going to switch me to outpatient and that they'd schedule my surgery 6 weeks away. So I was on narcotics and just dealing with severe pain for 6 weeks waiting for the surgery. I got the surgery and then dealt with all of the pain from, incisions and everything else for like a month and a half. I also had a stent placed during that time because what they did was they took and actually cut the tube that goes from my kidney to my bladder where the blockage was. They cut it, took that little piece out that was blocked, and then sewed it back together. Then they put in a double J stent, which is basically just like a silly straw. It has like a little curly Q on both ends, one in the kidney, one in the bladder, and the straw goes all the way through that tube to hold everything open and let it heal. Now, stents are a medieval form of torture. I don't wish them upon my worst enemy. It sucked. But after I had the stent removed, I thought maybe everything would be okay. And then they did an ultrasound like a week after to confirm that everything was going well. And it was still showing grade 4 hydronephrosis. So I'm looking over all of this and I'm like, that's not right. So I talked to my primary care about it. And he also said, that's not right. My urologist office never called. So I called them. And I went in and they said, yeah, this doesn't really look right. We're going to send you for a $6,500 CT, a different CT than the CT that you already had. that you paid $4,000 for, to try and figure out what's going on. I got that CT. 2 weeks later, I get the results from that, and it says, yeah, surgery failed. So I go back in to my doctor, and I'm like, what is going on? And he said, I don't know. It's weird that this failed, and so I want to send you for even more testing. I'm like, okay, let's go do more testing. Nuclear medicine is also, like, those tests can be pretty brutal. So I went and I had my nuclear medicine study done. And then my doctor called me after the results for that came in and said, I don't actually think your surgery failed. I just think it's taking a long time. But because you're still in pain, we can do another procedure, but only if you want us to. Otherwise, we can just wait and I'll see you in March. Keep in mind that this whole time he has declined me pain meds, but my primary care said, well, if he won't give them to you, I will, because this is ridiculous. You shouldn't be in this level of pain all the time and be gaslit. So I've been on narcotics for months at this point, trying to manage pain so that I can, like, go to work. And I said, you're doing the procedure. I can't keep doing this, and I'm not waiting until March. So that was back in, like, October? I think it was October. And they scheduled my procedure for December 12th. It's December 17th, so I'm 5 days post-op at this point. And they said, what we're going to do is we're not going to make any cuts, but we can run a scope from your bladder up to your kidney. We can take a look and figure out what's going on. And then if need be, we'll put in another stent, let that sit for 6 weeks, hold everything open, and see if everything goes okay after that. I'm like, okay. So, $12,000 procedure. According to my chart notes, they can't find anything wrong with me, but they put the stent in anyway. So now I have 6 weeks of the stent. That's basically my, like, medical history up to this point. Not real thrilled, but it is what it is, I guess. So now that I have the stent, I'm back to working like 12 hours a week instead of 30. So my income has gone down insanely. We are at over $100,000 of tests and procedures. My problem's not fixed, and we are on 10 months of me being in pain. So, also during all of this, because I thought that maybe my surgery would work the first time, since it has a 95% success rate, I signed up for classes. So in addition to working 2 jobs and dealing with all my medical stuff, I was also taking 7 credits, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're taking Anatomy and Physiology 1, Anatomy and Physiology 2, and Medical Terminology, is a lot. So, anyway, we are now past finals week, and I got an A in both my classes. I am back to reduced hours. All my Christmas commissions are done. And I'm getting into the rest of my market prep for next year's season. So my goal is to get $20,000 worth of product for next year done. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but we're going to try. In the meantime, here's a couple videos that I took of me working on my last couple of Christmas commissions, just to show you the bigger items that I got done. And then we'll get into all of the market prep that I have been working on in my downtime since my procedure. I had another Winnie the Dragon that needed to go out, and I want to show you because I finished it. So this is a custom order commission, and this is for like a friend of a friend. He wanted a black and white dragon, and I floated the idea to him of this like Bernat blanket perfect phasing skein that went from black to white. And so you have the black on the head all the way down to white on the tail. He wanted gray fur, gray horns, gray wings. And then he asked me if I could do 2 different colored eyes. So I'm hoping that they show up on camera. I've got one green eye and then one purple eye. So I'm just waiting to find out pickup instructions for him, and then his dragon is ready to find its home. I used the Bernat blanket for the gray for the wings. I used the Bernat Perfect phasing for the body, and then the Hobby Lobby faux fur yarn. And, you know, think what you want about Hobby Lobby, I get it, but they truly do have the best fur yarn on the market. And this stuff is so insanely soft. It's easy to work with. It does shed, but it doesn't shed that bad. So yeah, this dragon's ready to find its home, and I'm kind of sad, honestly, that this one's leaving me because I love this one so much. I think that he's just gorgeous. So my next crochet commission, it's almost done. So I've got a couple more petals that still need to be put on, but this is a sunflower pillow. And this truly was like a trust the process kind of pattern because I really didn't love it. Like going forward, I was like, this looks weird. And once the first 6 petals were on, I still kind of thought it looked weird, but now that the other petals are on, it's looking pretty good. I do have to weave in ends, and then the back of it just is like, you know, sunflower seeds. But this was my first foray into like Hobie yarn, and I gotta say, as far as chenilles go, because I'm a chenille yarn hater, like I hate it. I hate how much it shreds. I hate how you can't seem to make a magic circle out of it to save your life. This stuff works like butter. Like it does still shed. It's still pretty rough, but it is great. And the color selection is just awesome. So I have such a hard time finding a solid brown that looks good, and I feel like their brown is really, really good. I did have to size down my hook though because their chenille yarn is like a skinny chenille. So it's not the same size as like a Bernat blanket or even like a chenille home slim. It really is more like a skinny chenille, but I love the way it turned out. I think it's gorgeous, and I bought way too much of it because it was on sale. So I have enough to make like, I don't know, 3 more of these, which is good because I will be going hopefully to Blake's Sunflower Festival this year, and I feel like these are going to be great for that. Now, I do still have to weave in ends, and one thing that I will say about this is that trying to sew these petals on, you need to use the acrylic. So you can see like I've got acrylic yarn kind of hanging off everywhere because the chenille will shred so bad. So I just got a similar color acrylic, and that's what I'm putting on. I decided to go with kind of a mustard yellow instead of a bright yellow because the bright yellows just were not the right shade. But I am excited. This will be going out tomorrow, so it does need to be done today. Okay, I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. So I will link the pattern creator to give her credit in the comments for this, but I will say that this is amended. So this is not exactly the original pattern. Okay, so I've gotten a little bit more work done. It is 1:04 in the afternoon. I started all of this in 11:30-ish. So right now, all I'm focusing on is getting body parts done. I'm not really worried about like stuffing them or getting eyes in them yet, but I wanted to show you, this is the body of my mini loaf cat pattern that will hopefully be coming out soon. I haven't actually like written the pattern on my computer yet. I do have it written on paper, but I'm working on it. I'm still trying to get my lavender pattern out. But I'm thinking about doing a YouTube tutorial for that pattern, so let me know if you would like a free YouTube tutorial for my lavender pattern before I release the actual written pattern. I also have another mini cat that I did, and this is, I think, the Bernat blanket, like the mystical. It's like yellows and pinks and grays. I absolutely love this, and I love it for the cats specifically. I also got a third mini cat done. This one is just solid white. So the butts are still open so that I can stuff them, but that's 3 down for today. Also, I don't know if you can see him in the background. Look at my cat. He's just like big chilling in the basement with me today. I'm back. I took a shower. My hair's very wet. It's up in a clip. I got another cat done. So I officially finished another one of the mystical colors. And I have finished my third cup of coffee. It is 2:05. My husband's still not up. He has to work at 4, so I think I may go upstairs and go get him up. The cat has not moved. He's still just a big old loaf over there in the corner on my comfy chair, so I'm in my less comfy chair. I have some things that I want to get done today. It's December 5th. It's time to decorate the Christmas tree. It's also time to do some laundry. Okay, so since I have like really not been working, I've only gone back to work one day for like 4 hours since my procedure, which was on Friday. It's Wednesday. I work for 3 hours tomorrow, and I work for like 4 hours, I think, on Saturday, and that's it for this week. So I've had a lot of time at home, and I am working through trying to get all of my inventory done. And essentially, I need to make like $100 to $150 worth of inventory every single day leading up to next market season if I want to do everything that I'm going to be doing. So it's going to be a lot, but we are getting there. So something that I started that's new for me this week are sunflowers. So some of these are going on sticks and actually becoming like sunflowers that people can put in a bouquet, like with my crocheted lavender. And some of them are actually going to just go on a keychain, because I am hoping to do 2 weekends of Lavender Festival at Blake Farms down in Armada, Michigan. And so I needed to have something for that. I really like these. They're a super quick make. They take like 12 minutes a piece, maybe, tops. And so I've been working my way through these. I have 10 of them done, and then I have parts and pieces for about another 10. I also have made a couple of ballerinas, just the legs and like the lower body. I haven't finished the arms and the heads and the ears and stuff just because I haven't been able to sit upright to work on stuffing things. So just a couple pieces there. The thing that I have been working on the most are my mini loaf cats. Now, this pattern is my original pattern. I know that there are some mini cat patterns out there, but this one is mine. Now, this one's not stuffed yet, so it's still got like an open butt. But once the face is embroidered and it is stuffed, these will be done. I sell these for $8 a piece. I started selling them towards the end of last year, and they actually became my best seller pretty much overnight. So I plan on making a ridiculous amount of these for next market season. And the nice thing is they don't use a lot of yarn. So I have been working through my stash and trying to just de-stash a bunch of balls of yarn. And so far this week I've made 25. I also have been working on toads. And again, there's no eyes on these yet. They're not stuffed. But so I don't know how well you can see them. But this little guy, he's going to have eyeballs right here. And then he's got his 2 little feet and his back legs. And these are another one of my like better sellers. This is a free pattern on Instagram, by the way. And my plan for this upcoming year is to make just like a ton of them, which is nice because they're also a super quick make. So I think I've made 10 or 12 of them so far in the last 5 days. And my plan is to make like another 40 or 50 of them over the course of the next week. That being said, I do want to talk just a little bit about how recovery has been going for me so far. So first and foremost, again, ureteral stents are like the worst thing ever, and I do not wish them upon my worst enemy. I told my mom over the first like 3 days of this thing that I would actually take childbirth over this, and people on Reddit agree. You should look up some of the horror stories from that. But what I have found is that I have pretty much laid on the couch, reclined for like the past 5 days, and I've pretty much been stuck there. Getting up and walking at all is horrifically painful because the little curlicue part of the stent that's in your bladder pokes your bladder all the time, and it irritates it, and it makes you feel like you have the worst UTI on the planet times 10. And I have the stent for 6 weeks. So going to work where I am standing, bending, twisting, moving in general, and can't take breaks is brutal. And so 4 hours is my max, where I'm pretty much just crying uncle and I need to go home and lay down for the rest of the day. So that's where I'm at. I have found a heating pad works. So if you happen to ever have this misfortune befall you, I have my handy dandy heating pack. It has an automatic 2-hour turn off, so I don't have to worry about, it overheating on me. But my husband has given me this to use. This is a Ryobi battery with a converter that I can plug everything into. And so while I'm on the couch where I don't have access to outlets, it works out really well that I can just bring over a battery pack. I can charge my phone, I can run my heat pack, I can do all of that without having to constantly get up. That being said, I am hoping to put out more content soon, especially with market prep items, but we'll see what I can get done. Right now it's December 17th, and I am just finishing up the last little bit of Christmas shopping and all of those things as much as I can, and just focusing on recovery. So I do want to also put this in at some point here in this video, because this video will be releasing right before my lavender pattern comes out on Etsy. Now, I want to put this out there that I know that there are other lavender patterns out there. Mine is more or less an improved pattern. So I bought a lavender pattern that I used last year for my crocheted lavender, and I was super disappointed with it because it was like 3 lines of text. There was not really any instruction on how to put the lavender flowers together, and I thought that they kind of looked a little bit clunky. They were certainly clunky to make, and so I decided, you know what? I'm going to make my own lavender pattern. So I did. It is written. It should release here in the next few days, and that will be available on my Etsy. If you buy that pattern, I'm going to put the code right here. The code is kidney. 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 If you put that in, you will get my pattern for half off. And any purchases of that pattern that use that code, I will be using the money that I earn from that pattern to help pay my medical bills. So, buy my pattern, help me out. Let me know what you think of that lavender. I use that one exclusively now. That's the pattern that I will use forever for my lavender. And I hope you love it as much as I do. That being said, I will catch you in the next one because I'm going to lay down and take a nap. Bye.